Hi, I'm Dan from Real Mac Software and welcome to this Elements beta video. Now, I'm primarily recording this video for those people that are interested in joining the beta, but even if you haven't received an email invite yet, you can still watch this video and still learn about where Elements is at and how to use it. Now, we are charging for the beta, and primarily this is to stop us getting flooded with feedback. We only want those users that are really interested in Elements and really want to help us build the best product. So by buying the beta, you're supporting us as a company, but you're also getting in really early on to help us shape the product. So if you go and look on the forums, you'll see for the existing beta testers, we've already had like months and months of long feedback and this whole loop going on where they're suggesting things to add and changing the way Elements works, and we're kind of incorporating those features. So that's why we're charging for the beta. If you're not happy with paying for the beta, you can wait until Elements is released as a public release, and then you can check it out then. But if you are interested, I'm going to show you how Elements works and kind of give you a whistle-stop tour of how to build a site in it and things like that. Now, I can't cover everything because Elements is a massively complex program, really powerful, and it can do so much. But this should give you a quick, not necessarily quick, but it will give you a bit of an overview of how Elements works and what to expect. You can also go and watch the other weekly videos we've been doing. Hopefully you've seen some of them, so you are familiar with Elements. So I'll move at a fairly quick pace in this video. But if you have any questions, you can always post on the forum and we'll get back to you there. All right, so let's dive in. This is the welcome window for Elements, and I can just hit New Project. And this will give us a new document window. Now, it starts off in mobile because we primarily develop or we recommend people develop mobile first. Now, I'm a bit guilty of this in the case that I'll often develop the site on a desktop size and then go back and tweak it for mobile. But because we use Tailwind, it is primarily a mobile first design environment. But you can do it either way. And especially for the purpose of this video, we'll kind of be working at the mobile level. At the desktop level, sorry. Right, I should probably stop talking and just get on with this. So this is Elements. We've got our main working canvas here, and on the left-hand side, we've got these tabs, and this is where we create new pages. I can just hit the plus button, and if we hit return in there, we can call this one home, and this one could be contact. So you can just create pages like this. You can also right-click and create a folder, so you can nest pages. You can also drop pages inside one another as well. So really powerful. You can just do levels of this stuff. Next up, we have the resources. This is where you can add resources into the project. Just drag and drop them from the Finder like this. You can put them in folders and create folders. So this could be my photos. And I can take these, pop those in there. And these will be exported with your website. So it's really intuitive stuff, just like working in the Finder. It's kind of what you'd expect. You know, I can do a new folder, and that's a subfolder in there, and I can nest things. Really nice to work with and just really intuitive. There is a little inspector down here, which will allow you to rename the files, add a caption and an author, and those things are important for when you're building galleries, stuff like that. And the same is true on the pages area as well. If I view the inspector in there, you can change various settings like the file name, folder, browser title, things like that. There's also this page settings area, really important if you want to insert code into the body of the page. So we've got headers, JavaScript, CSS, page start, page end. So you can insert code anywhere. You're probably not going to need this, but it's there if you do. So we've got pages, we've got resources. Next up is components. These are the building blocks of your site. So all of these, we can just drag and drop them into the main area here. You can see I can change the view, and this kind of gives me a bigger icon, so I can, especially if you're new to the program, this is quite a good view, because then it's more descriptive on what they actually do. You know, you can kind of see by looking at them. So to use these, you just drop them into the page. So there I've dropped a container. I can drop a grid in. Then let's drop some images in. You can see here, so I'm dropping these into the grid. So now I've got some objects in my page, and to edit these, we can see the inspector over here, and this allows us to change the properties on the selected component. So here you can see it's grid, and if I click here, we've now got the image settings, and I can click there, container. And if you want to see how your page is built up and see all the components you have on your page, you can go to the node browser, and here it lists everything out. And you can search, you know, when this gets big, it's sometimes good to be able to search for objects you want. So you can see there it got highlighted, and I can say grid, and it just highlights it for me and shows me where it is. You can use this to rearrange things. So I can drag that up there, which you can obviously also do in the main editor as well. I can drag this around, we'll pop it back in there. So it's all drag and drop. Let's drop some text in there. And yeah, it's, once you get used to this, really powerful way of working. I can right click on an object and I can navigate up the tree. So if I want to select the wrapper on this, I could select the grid item, and then I can change how many columns in my grid. It's, yeah, very intuitive stuff. So if I wanted to add an image to this, I've dropped these in, and I can just pop those in there. Oh, let's take the moon. There we are. Get rid of that one. Yeah, so really easy stuff. So those are the tabs over this side. There's lots more options in here that I won't cover, but you can kind of, as you get familiar with them, you'll uncover all of that. We've also got the theme studio up here, which is worth knowing about. This is where you can change the settings for your entire site. And these are, I think I'll go, let me open up a project I've built, then we can go into this a little bit in more detail, and that'll make more sense. But this is where you can change the settings for your entire site. This button here will open the preview in the browser, so you can go and see what your website looks like. Up here, this is where you can configure the settings for your whole project. So you've got the general settings, web icons, some advanced options, and then the template. This is the template we use when you export your site. So if you you can completely customize this and add any HTML you want in here, and that would appear on every page. So this is very powerful. Again, you probably won't need to touch this. We've got a notes area, and of course publishing, where you can set up your publishing destinations where you want to publish your site to. All right. We also have Elements Cloud as well, which allows you to, it's a free account. You can sign into this, and then that'll allow you to back up and share your projects. So that's really good stuff, that. Right, let's get rid of this project. And if you're on the beta, you should have access to the welcome project. Now, I put this together yesterday, especially for the beta, so that you can use it and dive into something that's built rather than starting with a blank canvas. So let's open this project up. And you can see here, it's a whole page, nicely designed. And I've got a few different pages here. I haven't designed all the pages. I've just added a menu and a header there, so you know which page you're on. And we can go and view this in the browser. You can see it's a fully functioning website. Let's go back there. Rollovers on these all work. So really nice. So this is something that you can play around with and kind of get a feel for how Elements works. This is a text box here, and to edit text, you just double click into it, and then you can start typing. let's get rid of that. And the inline text editing controls come up here. So if we wanted to, I could highlight this word and we could change the color of that. I can make it bold or italic. We can change the font size in this bit. So I can make that really big. We could change the font family here. Set a link on it. So it's really powerful stuff. Really easy to work with. Just like that, we've created a bit more of a funky header there. Let me undo those changes. Yeah, working with objects, you can see here I've got all the settings down the side, so I can just transform this, for example. There we go, -45. I can tilt him, and we can also do effects on hover. So when I hover into it, he animates, which is really cool, and animates back out. Now I've set a transition time on this of 5,000, but I could make that quicker. Whoop, so he goes really quick. Let's switch that off for now. Yeah, we've got sizing here, layout, loads of stuff. So each object on here has those settings, like a button. We can set transforms and effects and things like that, and change the colors on it and the borders, everything you'd want to do really. So let's go to the theme studio again. Now we have some basic built-in themes here. These are just for the beta. They're not really finished, but it gives you a feel for how themes work. So at the moment this is set to system, but if I switch to another theme, you can see the colors change and the font changes there. So I can just go through these. So this is really nice. While it keeps my design and my layout I've set, it changes the theme colors and the fonts and spacing and things like that. So that's really nice. We've also got light and dark mode as well we support. So that's what these icons are here. I can just click between them. Sorry, I can just click between them and then we can see light and dark mode, and this is great. And the way you set this up, I've already set this demo project up, but if I click on dark mode, I can then adjust the colors for dark mode. So now when I go back to light mode, you can see it's still in white, and if I wanted to change that, I could. We could make this pink. So in light mode it's pink, and then I go to dark mode and we've got a lighter blue. It's yeah, it's really easy. Let's set that back to white. It's really easy to set up your colors like that. So that's all that you have to do. You can just set the colors you want in light mode, come over to dark mode, and then change the colors. If we wanted that to be pink. So now on light mode it's like this, and then dark mode it's there. So really easy stuff, and that will respond to the system. So when your system's in light mode, you'll see this, and when your system's in dark mode, you'll see the dark mode. If you don't want to support dark mode, you can switch that off in the project settings. You can just switch that off, and you'll see the light and dark mode options disappear. So Theme Studio, got a lot of settings in here. You can set the colors for your project. Now each theme comes with its own set of base colors. And these are all set up Tailwind colors, so most of the common things are set up, or common colors that you'd want to use, and they're nice tones. So I can go to amber, and then we've got a nice grad there we can use, and this is really nice because it allows you to use a color and then pick multiple shades from it. So I'm using amber here, and I've set my background to amber, and I might want the text to follow the same, so we can search for amber, and then I can just use a darker color for that, and they go together really nicely. So the shades are really handy to have, and you can create your own. So if I click the plus button, I've now got a new color, and you can just rename it. Let's call that one space, and I can change the color of it. I only have to pick one color here, and it will create the shades either side. So like this, So that's really cool. And then it gives me a nice palette to use. We can get rid of that. You can also override colors. So here, these two are using amber, and what I can do, this little duplicate button here will it overrides the original amber color. So now all my amber things I can adjust, and the whole page will change. So this is really powerful stuff, and this is why the theme studio's really great, because it gives you a way to globally change how the site looks. So next up, we've got screens, and screens allow you to set what mobile breakpoints you want to support. You know, if you didn't want to support extra large, you can just switch these off, and you'll see it changes up here. And now we're only supporting mobile, but we can switch those back on. And now we're back to supporting all of those. And you can change the pixel values if you want to support different breakpoints. These are set up very well. They're very standard. Probably don't need to change these. I would just work with them. Next up, we've got font family, and you can see here I'm using heading. Let me go there. I'm using the heading font for all of these headings. We've got this set up here, and this is part of the theme. We can override these settings, or we can create our own a new font, and we support font names, font resources. You can drag in your own fonts from the resources area into here, and we support Google Fonts as well. So let's go for handwriting. Let's have a look. So I could pick this, and now we'll call this. Let's call this handwriting. And in here, we now have a handwriting option. So let's change that. And now our heading is handwriting. Let me just switch this back to heading again. And we'll get rid of this. This heading is part of the theme, and if we override this, we can change the text for across the entire site, because I've set all my headings to use heading, and I've actually set all this text as well to use heading. So we're using one style here. So if I override this, I can now pick a new font here. So let's look for, let's go Work Sans. So you can see, it just updates the entire site. When I pick one of these, there's a little flash as the font loads from Google. But just like that, you can go through and pick a different font. So it's really powerful. I'm going to remove that so we go back to the default. You can set up your font sizes in here. Again, these are set up in the themes, but you can create your own or override them. We've got spacing. It's the same deal. Override if you want to change the spacing parameters here or add new ones. Now the spacing is changeable here. Most objects have a spacing value. And I can pick, these are all values from the theme. So you can see these all match up with these. So I can pick one of those, or if I just want to use my own spacing, I can change the values there. And this is by clicking and dragging on these. It removes it in 5 increments, but if you hold down Shift, you can move it in 1 increments. So let's turn that off. So yeah, if I wanted to create more space at the top there, really easy to use, really powerful. And you can see all this happening in real time. And if I want to go back to the theme values, I can just click this and it will swap back. So that's spacing. We've got shadows that are set up here. You can create your own shadows. This is really powerful. I can just drag this around. You can create multiple shadows, and you click on them to change them, and I can change the color of them by clicking that. You can also make inner shadows. If you double click here, you can make it an inner shadow, and we can change the effect there. You can add these and you can drag them around. So it's a really powerful shadow editor here. You can do some fun stuff. Let's make that. Let's make that on the outside. Let's do a yellow one there. Make that really blurred. Yeah, so you can get any effects you want. Very nice. And you can obviously rename those. And you can just set these up on, let's see, we've got a text shadow there. That's my new one. That looks pretty disgusting. But you know, you can design your own nice shadows. We can just put a nice large shadow on there. It's having things set up in the theme studio allow you to modify the entire site really easily. We've got border widths, same again, you can override. Got border radius. Now the typography setting is more involved. Let me go to a new page. So we have two types of text components. We've got the standard text and the typography. Now the text component is really great for headings and smaller areas of text and keeps things really clean. Then we have the typography. Now let's just add some spacing to this so we can see what we're doing. And a little bit of padding on the side. I can drop this typography in here. Now with typography, we can set blocks of text. So let's say this is my title. So on my title block of text here, I can highlight it and I get these additional block styles, whereas in a normal text block, I don't get those block styles. So here I can say, let's make this H1, and it will set this to H1. Now we do need to set a style on the typography, and we'll pick Space Dude because this is the typography setup I have in here. So let's come down here. Let's set a few more styles. I might want this to be H3, and let me just set this as a link. Choose link. Let's just use link to the home page. So this is a link, but it's not styled. Let's set that to bold as well. So it's not set to styled. It's not got a style set on it, sorry. So if I go to the theme studio and look in the typography settings under our Space Dude typography class, we can see that on the body there is no link style set up. Now because this is a beta, all themes will come with some typography styles, but we're just working on that. So at the moment this is all blank and you kind of have to build it yourself, but we will have these pre-populated, so it will give you a nice style to start with. But at the moment everything's blank, and we want to set a style on this text. So I can see my link styles here for body, and I can set that to blue, and you can instantly see there the hover effect has gone to blue, and we can the normal effect has gone to blue, and then hover is fuchsia. And we can switch on and off underline. So now when I hover on that, you can see it's it highlights. Now the same thing here. This is let's do it on the top heading. So we'll just link to home. And so this is H1 and it's not using this link color. So let's go to the typography studio and have a look. We know this is H1, so I can tab along to H1, and there's no color style set for this. So there we are. We'll make that go amber. So now we've set that up as a link, and we could do this underlined. So that's H1, you know, and we can change the change the look of this in here. So this is really cool. So now whenever we use our, so now whenever we use our H1, we'll get the same style. Let's set that to H1, boom. So this is really good when you've got, this is really good for long form pieces of text. Really nice to style things that way, which I think, I've got another project here. So you can see this is really nice, and I've got a quote in there, and this is all one component. So this is perfect if you want a big block of text, more like an article, something like that. You can just style it. And here you can see I set up a long form class. So if I go over to my my theme studio, you can see there I've got a long form. I've set up a sidebar, fancy paper. So you can create as many of these as you want, and then it's great because you can just change the look of this. Let's change it to fancy paper. And yeah, so it's a really nice way to set up some typography styles there. Okay, I think that about wraps it up for this demo. Hopefully that's you understand more about how Elements works. But if you do have any questions, post on the forum. It is still beta, so it is unfinished. There are bugs, there are things we haven't added yet that we want to add, and this is the reason it's a beta and not out completely. But you can see it is fully functional, and you can build a website with it, but you probably will hit bugs. But we're doing new betas every week that fix up a lot of things that you guys feed back on, and we're adding new features. I haven't really touched on globals or custom components. We do have videos on those, well worth going to watch. Like I said, Elements is a really big complex application, so it's too much to cover in this video because there's so much great stuff in here. All right, so that wraps it up for this video. I hope you found it useful. And yeah, do watch some of the older videos if you've not done so yet. So if you want to know more about globals or custom components, go and search for those videos on our YouTube channel or on our forum. Yeah, and got any questions, post away. All right, thanks for watching this one, and I hope you enjoy Elements, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.